Well, thank you for attending our webinar. We're going to move on to the question and answer portion of the presentation. I have received several questions already, so I'm going to begin with those, but please feel free to send any more questions anytime. I imagine you're going to have tons more after we're done here today, so please feel free to email me anytime with your questions, or if you want more information about our program here, I'm absolutely happy to send that to you. So let's see here. So our first question is, you mentioned background check. Why is that necessary? Well, we do background checks for various reasons. One is credit. And not everyone has perfect credit, of course. But what we're looking for is we want to make sure the surrogate mom isn't about to be foreclosed upon or in so much debt that she's under tremendous amount of stress. That's not a good environment for your baby. We also look for any legal claims and a DMV report. We want to make sure that she hasn't had a DUI or definitely has a valid driver's license. And we also check to make sure they have car insurance. Again, this is a responsibility thing, so we're looking for those kind of things. Okay, I hope I answered that well for you. Let's see. Next one is, my brother is an attorney. Why can't I use him? Well, unless your brother is an attorney that has done surrogacy cases, it would take him years to get up to speed, to know what it is that the attorneys that we work with know, and because this is the safety for the intended parents. They want to know that they're going to be able to go home with their baby at the end, and the last thing you want is to, even if it's free, you don't want to have to pay for someone who's learning on the job. This is money very, very well spent to use an attorney that has a great amount of experience. We have 2 attorney teams that we work with, and one I've been working with for as long as I've been doing business, like I said, 20 years, and the other is probably about 15 years now. So they are very, very familiar with the legal climate regarding surrogacy in California. Okay, so let's see. The next one is, what does a psychologist look for? Well, that's a good question. I mean, we're talking about costs here, so there's 2 sides to this. There is the psychologist for the couple, because we do have our couples that come into the program see the psychologist, and there is no test to know what kind of parents they're going to be. There's no such thing, so we certainly don't do that. There's a couple of things that we're looking for. One is we want to see that that the couple is not in such a fragile state that this is going to harm them. I mean, even in the best situation, even when everything goes beautifully, this is a very hard thing to do. So we want to make sure that they have the appropriate coping skills, if you will, to get through this safely. And also, there's a personality part that comes into play for me. When I'm looking for your surrogate mom, I'm looking for someone that you're going to have a great experience with. You know, we're in each other's lives for a year, so I want to make sure that I understand and that the psychologist feels that your personalities are compatible with surrogacy. So those are the things that she does on the couple side. Now, on the surrogate mom side, she's looking for someone who's obviously, for everyone, I mean, she's looking for someone who's healthy, psychologically speaking, but we're also, the personality is absolutely key. We are wanting to make sure that she does not have tendencies that would contradict her participation, trouble with authority, following direction. Even we do as much check as we can on the status of her marital arrangement, and making sure that that's solid. There's so much that we look for, much more that we look for in the surrogate mom, because we do rely on her heavily. I mean, she has the most important role, and that's to care for this child, this baby, this embryo that turns into a baby, of course, a healthy baby. That's what all of our goals are. So it's very critical that you have a licensed psychologist who is very familiar in the testing. Okay, so let's see. Next question is, isn't the IVF process cheaper in other states? You know, Yes, of course it is. It can be it can be cheaper here too. I've certainly have come across that, but I didn't include that because I kept a certain range of success, and you can pay less, but you're not going to see the kind of success rates that we see if you do that. You know, and other countries are the same way. I mean, I was speaking to someone going to Europe, and they were saying, oh, but you know, it's a fourth of the cost to go there. But they were already on their second try, and there was no indication it was going to work then either. And I've talked to actually read this, someone else who was on their third try. Well, by then you will have spent what you would have here, and it would have probably worked. I mean, we have an incredible success rate here with the doctors that we work with. So to answer your question directly, yes, it's cheaper in other places, but not as successful. And in the end, that's what matters. And this question came in. Do the parents need to be from California or the U.S. to have the same legal rights? No, actually, I'm not a lawyer, as I mentioned earlier when we started, but I have worked with a ton of international couples, and they have not only the same rights, of course, as parents here in the U.S., but they have the same responsibilities, and I think that that's a key thing to mention. This is the intended parent's baby, whether you're here or not, whether you live in any other country. This is still your baby that's here. And our laws here in the state of California look to the parents for everything. So yes, short answer, everyone has the same rights here and responsibilities as parents. All right, I'm going to see if we have any other questions. That was the last one that had come in. Oop, I think that's the last one. Well, I want to thank you for attending our webinar, and we do have future webinars planned. As you can see, there's one next week, and I do hope that you will join us. We do plan on doing at least one every month, and with different topics. And the one we're doing today will also be available on our website in the coming weeks, so you can look for that if you wanted to go back. And as I mentioned before, please know that you can contact me directly via email anytime. I'm happy to answer any questions you have and send you information specific to our program. Thank you again, and have a good night.